Yeah.
It's not that hard. And on that note, for being not that hard, I have a list of teams I think I could literally currently be a better head coach for. Okay? This is based off of what I've seen in week 1 of the NFL season. Those 3 teams, the Chicago Bears, the Houston Texans, and the Carolina Panthers. I think I could be a better head coach for it. Just like it's so easy stuff that they're missing. The Bears didn't have one designed run for Justin Fields. He ran for, I think, a total of 57 yards on like 5 carries that were not designed. He threw the ball an absurd amount of time. I think 44 throws off the top of my head for Justin Fields against the Packers. Not surprising to me, by the way, that the Packers played as well as they did with Jordan Love. That's why he didn't make the list of surprises for me this game. But yeah, look at that. Zooming it in for y'all. 37 passes for Justin Fields. What are we doing? Like it's just simple stuff, you guys. Like it's not rocket science. Like a lot of these head coaches are just so far ahead, like brain power wise, and some of these just absolute idiots that because they went to the right high school and got on the right program in northern Michigan with the right guy who ended up being general manager somewhere, like that's how he got put into power. And now we're seeing what's going to happen. Like Bears defense still stinks. They didn't fix that. The offense still stinks. There's no sign of them getting any better. It's just, in my opinion, it's the Packers and the Lions division. The Houston Texans, going over to the Houston Texans. Again, you have a rookie quarterback for the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud. And you watch the game and you can't help but feel for the kid because he's got no one blocking for him. He's got no one to pass to. The best offensive weapon on the team is Dameon Pierce, who only gets 11 carries when they're giving the corpse of Devin Singletary the ball 8 times for 0 yards. Like, it's just such easy shit that these head coaches are missing, and these offensive coordinators are missing. Like, you really want to get into a shootout with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens? Like, no, run the damn ball. I don't care, like, how bad you think your offensive line is. CJ Stroud, by the way, is athletic. Let's get a couple of designed runs for him. You just saw, like, his confidence go into the toilet in the third and fourth quarter because he was tired of getting hit, and he was tired of, I mean, Nico Collins. Like, people are excited about Nico Collins. Like, what are we talking about? Like, that's your number one guy? Would he be number 3 on any other roster in the NFL? Like, maybe. I don't know. Houston Texans making absolute mockery of the situation. Just mistreating your rookie quarterbacks, your rookie talent, just like the Panthers did with Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young threw the ball even more times, looked super uncomfortable when he was out on the field. And in a game like that, like the final score is what the final score was, but it was tied going into the fourth quarter. Like, help your kid out, run the damn ball. Exactly what they did, which I'm really excited about, which what they did with Anthony Richardson and the Colts, is they mixed in some easy passes for him. He had design runs. He's obviously a better athlete than the other two, but the coaching staff really helped him out, getting him in the rhythm early on, helping him grow his confidence. He's going to make rookie mistakes along the way through a bad interception. Granted, lost the game to a good Jags team, I'll remind you. Yeah, 38 pass attempts for Bryce Young, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, the exact same route, the exact same interception, laid over the middle. Arm strength not looking good, to be honest, which is concerning from an athletic point of view, especially when you're a small guy like he is. I think I saw breaking news that they're bringing in, they just signed a running back to the Panthers, a former Bear, Malik Cohen, I think. I don't think I'm messing up that news. Like, why are we doing that?
Yeah.
Why do you think that's going to solve the situation? With all due respect to Hayden Hurst, like, great guy, talented football player. Shouldn't be leading the team with your running back Miles Sanders as target competition. Um, Jacob Marshall, am I off base? Can I not be a better head coach than the Houston Texans, the Panthers, or the Bears?
I mean, I 100% agree with you on the Bears and the Panthers. I think the Texans are just in a tough spot where they just have so many holes that I don't know if you'd be able to coach them better than their coach. I 100% agree that Damian Pierce needs to run the football more, but
Yeah,
there's
it's
so many
I
guys
mean,
on that team.
maybe a little bit of hyperbole, like
Yeah,
maybe a
absolutely.
little bit of hyperbole. Like I don't actually know how to I wouldn't
I know
know
that.
how to set a schedule for practice or do meetings or all the logistical stuff, but it's just like easy
Yeah,
stuff that we can do. Like get the ball in your best player's hands.
yeah,
Like stuff that Zach Wilson messes up, stuff that these head coaches mess up, like easy stuff that can really improve the outcome of these football games and the performance of your team as a whole. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about, guys. I have one more tasty treat for the end of the episode. I have a best bet. I have the world's worst dynasty fantasy football manager that I've been lobbying to get kicked out of the league because I think he's going to ruin it. But do you guys have anything else for me? Any last thoughts?
did we want to cover college football real quick or no?
Yeah, let's do some college football. I'm glad you brought it up. And we have a few people shouting in the background of Caleb B. Davis's microphone. Just try to ignore that on this podcast
They're
about
just excited.
football.
They're
They
excited.
are excited to talk about college football. Yeah, so we were talking about Colorado again covering the spread. Colorado minus 2.5 was trending on Twitter. I think was the most heavily bet side in college football history. And this is like the last kind of realm that casual fans um, can take advantage of the sports books, right? Because the sports books have gotten too analytical and too history based, and for that reason, they'll open with soft lines like the Puka Nakua thing, and they'll also open with soft lines when unprecedented things happen, like Coach Prime Deion Sanders bringing in 75 transfers has never happened before in college football history. So why wouldn't it work? Would be
Yeah.
my point of view. What's your point of view on the Colorado situation? I think they got College Game Day this weekend.
Yes. I don't remember who they're playing this week. Oh, it's Colorado State. Big
Yeah, it
rivalry.
is.
Big rivalry game. I'm going to say we all need to tap the brakes on Colorado a little bit. I think it's amazing what Coach Prime's done there. I think Deion's really turned the program around, which is awesome. I believe the last time they were really successful at Colorado may have been like 2001. They won the Big 12 championship. So it's been a long time since that program's had success, but we need to all take a break. They beat Nebraska, who's awful. I mean, that program's been tanked, and now Matt Rule is trying to save it. But
Matt Ja Rule, he had the boys actually playing pretty impressively, in my opinion, for what he was working with.
absolutely.
TCU, did they play? They did kick the shit out of Nicholls State, 41-6.
Okay, but I
And
watched that game, and
did
that
you watch
was
the game?
I watched TCU versus Nicholls. I went to TCU. I'm a TCU alum.
Yeah.
It was not
Um,
impressive. It was Nicholls had nothing, but TCU's offense does not move well. It is run the
yeah.
ball, run the ball, run the ball. Our quarterback couldn't do anything. I believe at one point it was like 14-0 going into the second quarter, and we had just scored a touchdown at the end of the first with the offense. The only other touchdown was a blocked punt that we ran in the end zone. So TCU's offense is god awful. It's
Yikes. So
terrible.
you don't feel good about Colorado giving up that many points to TCU and then turning around and playing a team without a quarterback in Nebraska and a lot of other holes. Like, yeah, they're going to be. I agree with you. I just think that line was outrageous for the same reason,
Absolutely.
like what you said. Nebraska sucks. We already saw that Nebraska sucks. They lost to Minnesota, put 10 points up on Minnesota. You think you're going to put that many points up on this Colorado team that we just saw, have some big stars on the defensive side? Like, I was like, first week, I'm like, what am I missing? maybe I'll live bet it. Like saw the first drive, I'm like, yeah, Colorado's going to cover
Yeah.
and probably win the game outright. Um, and then I just saw that 2.5. I'm like, it's a big reaction for Vegas standards. Like even in college, it's a big reaction to just one game, which I think it swung like 8 points through zero and through a lot of serious numbers. But it's just like, and you guys don't get what's going on here. Like this team went from shit to like legit overnight, and I
Yeah.
don't think you guys really realize that.
Yeah. And they are legit. I think as it stands right now, they may be the third best team in the Pac 12.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
I
still
think that's
USC's league. It's still
yeah.
USC's conference. And then Utah's good. Utah's
Is
good.
Caleb Williams ever going to play on TV? I feel like all I see his highlights on Twitter, and I have to like go on like FUBU
Well,
or
they play
something.
super late because they're Pacific time. So they'll kick off at like
Yeah,
2 p.m. Central time.
that's a bunch of malarkey. Let's get this kid on prime time. Yeah, get up earlier, you
Another Lincoln
people.
Riley quarterback.
Yeah, yeah, just incredible. Yeah, I agree with you. I think just on like the offensive line, like the big guys, even Coach Prime was kind of before the season, like, yeah, we don't have the big guys that we really need if we're honest, to really, really go. But like we'll still kick the shit out of some teams and we're gonna, get 14 personal foul flags against us and still beat you by 25 points, which I love,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
and that's I think another thing that disconnects with like the old heads that are in charge of these massive corporations of sports gambling that have probably been in the business for like 24 years and just kind of climb their way up to the top. Like they don't get what kids want. Like, you know, he's disciplined, he's tough, but he's also like, we're going to kick the shit out of you. We're going to talk shit when we're going to party when we do it.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, kind of the mindset of this next generation of athletes. Like, each generation like happened to this millennials, and now Caleb, you're a millennial, right? Jacob Marshall, or are you a Gen Z?
I'm Gen Z.
So you two are both Gen Z, so you guys get it. Like that's kind of the mindset of athletes now. It's like we do want to be flashy, we want to have a good time. Like we're not going to shake your hand and like pass the ball Barry Sanders style to the referee. Like we're going to have a good time, and I think that's kind of lost in the shuffle of a lot of the old heads and where we can still take advantage. And now I don't know what the next line is for Colorado State. I imagine they're massive favorites, and that kind of adjustment has now been made, and now is when we do not let ourselves keep betting on Colorado. We just take our winnings and we walk home with them. Would be my mindset for sports gambling
Yeah.
in college football in general. I hate doing it. But we also want to talk about one other game. What was it?
It
Jacob
was
Marshall,
Alabama, Texas.
Alabama, Texas. Quinn Ewers showed everybody why he's still the starting quarterback of this team. He's special. He's up there in my opinion. Where would you put him in this quarterback rankings for this season in college football? Say top 10, top 5,
He's
3.
probably on that top 5 cusp there. I think
I agree.
Caleb, Drake May, there's a few other guys that may be a little bit better, but I mean, he's as solid as you can ask of a quarterback at the college level.
Yeah,
And
Sanders. What do you think about? You think Sanders better or not better than yours?
I don't think we have a large enough sample size yet.
We don't. That's what's so fun about the question.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
don't
know.
think we do. I think overall talent, I think the ceiling on Sanders is much higher than yours.
He seems to have an absolute cannon for an arm, and has everything in between the ears. Maybe just a little bit inexperienced compared to yours. So I see why you would say that.
I do think we have another overreaction in college football, though, from this game, which happens.
Yeah,
Overreaction, start of the week. Texas is now the number 4 ranked team in the country after beating Alabama.
yeah, and Alabama didn't look great previously. It's like not the gonna kick the shit out of some average football team 60-0 on their cupcake game. Philby Davis, did you catch the Alabama? You're on mute, unmuted himself professionally like a Gen Zer. Go ahead, Kilby Davis.
I did watch it, and it was electric the whole time. The fan base carries a lot of the excitement in all college games. But watching that one specifically, I was like, this is one of those ones you love to watch, especially in an upset scenario or, whatever, especially like you said, with Alabama not having played nearly what Alabama does play normally.
Yeah. Excited to see who's winning the national championship, Jacob Marshall.
I mean, the favorite right now is still Georgia. I think Tennessee can give a run for their money this year. Tennessee is going to go as far as Joe Milton takes them. Bazooka Joe. Dude's got a cannon on him. Clemson, not looking too hot. I think Ohio State's in there. Don't trust Michigan. And there's a lot of hype around USC. The tough thing about USC is the same thing that's going to be the tough thing about Texas is neither of them are really going to be tested too much in their conference this year.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how good Georgia and Tennessee are because Georgia and Tennessee are going to have to play each other. And then the winner of those two is going to have to probably play Alabama in the SEC championship. So we'll get to see how good they are. But, I mean, Big 12, it's probably going to be Texas versus maybe Kansas State for the Big 12 championship this year.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe OU. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait for the expanded, especially now when we have, I mean, it's pretty obvious now that all that stuff that everyone was saying, like, oh, this NIL stuff is gonna make it the haves and the have-nots, and it's done the opposite. It's, it's still, the top 10 programs in the nation are always going to be the top 10 programs, but you'll have somebody sneak their way in there with one or two really good quarterback talents. And it's time to have an expanded playoff because it's not the good old days of Alabama and Georgia having 5-star recruits 3 layers deep in the roster at every single position. Like those guys that would be buried in Alabama's quarterback room, Jalen Hurts and Tua, they ain't going to be on the same roster anymore because one of them is going to go to Oklahoma a year earlier and make $3 million a year there in NIL money.
It's free agency every summer.
Yeah, which is great. It's great for the sport. It makes it impossible to figure out like who's who, but it's like I think people have like a real bond to the organization in college because they potentially like went to college or they grew up liking that college. Where if the players turn over every single year, you're not nearly as affected by it as you would be if it was like the NFL, if like Tom Brady was on a different team every single year. I think people would be like, I would just be more of a fan of the sport, which is what I am, which is fine, but like, not so easy to figure out and navigate if you're not a freak football fanatic like myself.
Mm-hmm.
Any more thoughts on college football, Caleb B. Davis?
No, but I will give a warning. My phone is at 6% charge.
All right, baby. Well, I'm gonna have you sign off right now. I believe at Funny CBD on all of the situations, Twitter. You're
Except,
also on Facebook.
TikTok is not that, or I'm sorry, no, it is that Funny CBD, but it doesn't matter because I don't use it. So, but yeah, no, it was awesome to join you guys in this conversation and give all the tech difficulties.
Hell yeah. Thank you for being on, Caleb B. Davis. We're going to get you back here in studio soon. This Sunday or Thursday night, we've got the
Vikings and Eagles.
Vikings and Eagles. Y'all want to come in studio to do a live watch party of that game?
I'm down. I'm available as well. So yes.
Yeah, I can make.
Great. All right. Well, looking forward to that. We'll be here live.
Well, thank you for the invite, man.
My pleasure. Caleb B. Davis, everybody.
Peace.
Jacob.